What if the secret to living to 1,000 isn't genetics, isn't medicine, but simply where you live? Around the world, there are few places where people live far longer than average, not just a few years longer, sometimes decades longer. These places are known as blue zones, regions where people regularly live into their 90s and even past 100. But here's the fascinating question. Is it actually the location that makes them healthier, or is it something deeper about how people live there? We'll explore what makes these places different, and more importantly, whether simply moving there would actually make you healthier, because the answer might surprise you. The Blue Zone Mystery. The idea of blue zones became popular after research led by explorer and author Dan Buettner. Researchers began mapping places where people consistently lived longer than expected. What they discovered was fascinating. These regions weren't necessarily wealthy, they didn't have the most advanced health care, and they weren't obsessed with fitness. Yet somehow, people there lived remarkably long lives. Many remained active well into their 90s, even their 100s. But the real mystery wasn't just longevity, it was healthy longevity. Low rates of heart disease, lower rates of obesity, lower rates of chronic illness. So what exactly were they doing differently? Okinawa. The Japanese island of Okinawa has long been famous for its number of centenarians. For decades, researchers studied the lifestyle of people there, and they discovered something interesting. The Okinawan diet traditionally focused on vegetables, tofu, sweet potatoes, and small portions. There's even a cultural philosophy called hara hachi bu. It means eat until you're about 80% full. This simple habit prevents overeating. But food isn't the only factor. Okinawan communities also emphasize strong friendships, lifelong purpose, and regular physical activity. Most elderly residents stay active in their daily routines, gardening, walking, cooking. Life rarely becomes sedentary. The moai, the lifetime friendship circle, created social structures of extraordinary stability. A researcher studying Okinawan centenarians found that nearly all of them maintained at least one close friendship that had lasted 60, 70, 80 years. This social continuity this represents is nearly impossible to replicate in a mobile, individualistic society. Nicoya, Costa Rica. The Nicoya Peninsula is the most surprising blue zone geographically. Costa Rica is a middle-income developing country, not the kind of place epidemiologists typically look for exceptional longevity. But a Costa Rican man who reaches 60 has a better chance of reaching 90 than almost anywhere else on Earth. That statistic, when it emerged from demographic analysis in the early 2000s, sent researchers to Nicoya to find out why. What they found was a community of remarkable social cohesion, physical activity built into daily life through agricultural work, and a diet centered on the three sisters, corn tortillas, beans, and squash, that provided an extraordinary combination of complete protein, complex carbohydrates, and micronutrients at virtually no caloric excess. They also found something unexpected: the water. The Nicoya Peninsula has some of the highest naturally occurring calcium and magnesium concentrations in Costa Rican water, both minerals associated with bone density, cardiovascular health, and reduced risk of stroke. The researchers hypothesized that a lifetime of drinking this water contributed meaningfully to the health outcomes of Nicoyans. This is one of the most intriguing and underreported aspects of Blue Zone research. Ikaria. Ikaria has gained a reputation as the place where people forget to die. Residents here experience significantly lower rates of dementia and chronic disease. The Ikarians' relationship with time is the thing visitors remark on most consistently. Appointments are suggestions. Lunch lasts until mid-afternoon. Naps are universal. The evening meal doesn't start until 10 p.m. The entire social structure of Icarian life operates on a clock that seems entirely disconnected from modern productivity culture. The diet is a classic Mediterranean pattern. Olive oil, consumed in extraordinary quantities, up to 6 tablespoons per day, wild greens, legumes, small amounts of fish and goat meat, herbal teas, and local honey. The herbal teas are particularly interesting. Icarians drink daily infusions of wild rosemary, sage, mint, and marjoram, all of which have mild diuretic properties that may contribute to lower blood pressure. Now let's move to Sardinia, a rugged island region of Italy. Especially in the mountainous villages of Sardinia, researchers found something remarkable: an unusually high number of men living past 100. And the reason may partly be lifestyle. Many Sardinian men spent their lives as shepherds, walking miles every day across mountain terrain. The people of Barbagia are fiercely proud, deeply communal, and somewhat suspicious of outsiders, a quality that has in some ways protected their traditional way of life from the homogenizing forces of modern consumer culture. They speak Sardinian, a distinct language from Italian, closer in some ways to Latin. They eat food their grandparents ate. They work the land their great-grandparents worked. The traditional Sardinian diet is striking. Minestrone-style vegetable soups, flat bread called carta musica, a bean and vegetable stew called favata, aged pecorino sheep's cheese, and moderate amounts of lamb. Wine, specifically Cananao, a Sardinian grape variety with extraordinarily high levels of polyphenols, is consumed daily, usually at midday meals and in the evening. What makes the Sardinian Blue Zone particularly intriguing for scientists is the male longevity pattern. In most of the world, women outlive men by roughly 5 years on average. In Barbagia, the ratio of male to female centenarians approaches 1 to 1. This is statistically extraordinary, and it suggests something specifically about the Sardinian male lifestyle, the physical work, the social connection, the wine, the unhurried pace, that is preventing the typically accelerated male aging seen elsewhere. Loma Linda. Perhaps the most surprising blue zone is located in the United States. In Loma Linda, California, a large community of Seventh-day Adventist church members have significantly longer life expectancy. It is surrounded by the sprawling American suburban landscape. It has a Starbucks, a Target, and a McDonald's. It is, in almost every external sense, an ordinary American city. The Adventist Health Studies, a series of longitudinal studies tracking tens of thousands of Adventists over decades, are among the most rigorous health research projects ever conducted. Their findings are striking. Adventist men live, on average, 7.3 years longer than other Californian men. Adventist women live 4.4 years longer than other Californian women. Vegetarian Adventists live longer than meat-eating Adventists, and regular church-going is independently associated with longer life, even after controlling for diet and exercise. Loma Linda is important for Blue Zones research specifically because it isolates the lifestyle variable from the genetic and geographic variables. Unlike Sardinia or Okinawa, Loma Linda Adventists are not a genetically homogeneous group living in an isolated ecosystem. They are living in the middle of modern America, and they are still living significantly longer. The implication is clear. The lifestyle factors, not the geography or the genetics, are doing the heavy lifting.